1v1 Green Tooth Gorge. Blue side is Deadpool as a Kommando Nob. Deals some pretty nice damage, infiltrating commander with lots of nasty tricks. And Evanescent as a Eldar Warlock melee commander. Mainly offensive, has a few spells too. 3 victory points up for grabs east to west on this map. This one natural for Evanescent, this one on the west natural for Deadpool, and a central VP. Pretty nice 1v1 map. Some people complain about the buildings that overlook vital areas, but overall it's a pretty fun 1v1 map. Deadpool goes for double shooters, like ranged infantry. Evanescent going for a Banshee squad, which would be very nice if they can get them in amongst those shooters. Warlock takes the east side, Kommando Nob takes the west, and Banshees use their speed to get to the center, foregoing these points for a early VP lead. And there it is, a double. Very briefly, now a 2-1. Triple shooters for Deadpool. It's going to be tricky early on unless Evanescent gets another Guardian squad or another Banshee squad early. But I assume against Orks they'll be going for double shurikens, but I'm not sure. They have aspects of Banshee very quickly on this Banshee squad. Kommando Nob shooting up some Guardians, they get away without any losses. Guardians are light ranged infantry, deal some nice damage but pretty fragile. Double shooters now shooting up Evanescent's power. They've put down 3 generators very early, which can be risky if you lose the first engagement, or like here you're just out of place and they get hit. Loses a generator, loses the node. You have a big shooter on one of the shooter boy squads, boosting a DPS and giving them aiming what's that. Sluggers now moving in. This might be a completely wiped generator farm, which would be a lot of requisition down the drain. Here come Banshees though, suppressed by aiming what's that. Sluggers move in, there's Warshout suppressing the Sluggers. Sluggers getting torn to bits, and the dead Slugger squad. Shuriken Cannon helping out there with suppression. Setup team for Eldar, very maneuverable compared to the other setup teams in the game. Now suppressing these shooters. Sluggers killed, but entire generator farm raised. Shooters hanging in there and force off the Eldar. Warlock can't see this Kommando Nob when he's infiltrated. He can now shoot up the Warlock from range. That's pretty decent damage with that default shooter he gets. Three bursts and the Warlock is down to just over 400 HP. Out, there's an immolator. Might be a dead Warlock. Destructor didn't take out our model, I don't think. Storm Boys on the way for Deadpool to counter the Shuriken Cannon. Evanescent could get another Shuriken Cannon to allow them to cover each other, which they do very well since they're so nimble for a setup team. Shooters in full retreat. Storm Boys on the field now, a jump infantry unit that do very nice damage, especially to heavy infantry with those power weapons. 468, 423. Banshees taking the east side. I haven't really seen them in combat apart from decimating those sluggers. 3 generators back up for Evanescent. In contrast, Deadpool has a single generator and another node over here. Here come the triple shooters and Storm Boys. Shooters back to full strength. Only one big shooter in there though. Stormboy's hard countering this shuriken cannon catches them in retreat. The shuriken cannon itself is heavy infantry, so those power weapons still put to good use. Warlock forced off. Destructor and Immolate takes those shooters down to quite low HP. They didn't lose a model though, or they did lose 2 models. Stormboys will now try to cap the center. Kommando Nob being sneaky and decapping this wreck point. Good map control for Deadpool right now. Triple gens going up for a total of 4 generators. Evanescent, of course, lost their farm early on. Kommando Nob doing a great job decapping. Here are Stormboys. Guardians miss with their grenades, in fact hit their own Warlock. Here come Banshees though, forces off the Stormboys. Banshees so deadly if they can get into melee. No sign of a 4th unit from Evanescent, very surprising. Trying to go straight for tier 2 up against triple shooters and Stormboys. Warlock again just gets away, casts Immolate on the VP, thinking that Deadpool is going to try and cap. Banshee's trying to retake this wreck point. Here come triple shooters though to shoot them up. Daka, and Banshees run away. Where are the Stormboys? They are making their way back to the center. Shuriken Cannon should be able to force off those shooter boys in the meantime. Banshees don't move in for a grenade. A mistake while they're suppressed, and now they retreat. Might see a retreat grenade here. He started moving a bit late and now spots the Stormboys. Should have thrown it, I think. And Shuriken Cannon just leaves. Warlock will try and engage these guys in melee. Don't know how that's going to turn out for him. Did take out a model straight away, but he's taking a lot of damage as a special attack, which might have saved him there. 1-to-1 cap, center is uncapped. Both players have their naturals, 439, 423, tier 2 for both players around the same time. Evanescent went first, just. Banshees again will try and take this wreck point back, which has fully matured, giving plus 30 requisition per minute. Kommando Nob has his stick bombs, very nasty against infantry if they land right. Also has improved camouflage queued up. Warlock taking ridiculous amounts of damage and goes down to the triple shooter boys, 2 big shooters. Shuriken Cannon though shutting down the rest of the squads. They need the Stormboys, and here they come. Guardians here. He's just been totally out-muscled in tier 1. Evanescent has done a pretty good job, I think, maintaining this level of VPs. And Shuriken Cannon's wiped out. Huge losses for Evanescent. Banshees in melee with Stormboys. Stormboys just get away, jump away with 35 HP. You see the global ability of the Warlock on those Banshees there. I forget its name. What makes them take less range damage. Distortion field or something, perhaps. I might be wrong. Guardians run away. Don't take a loss, but they lost their energy shield that they put up. Wraithguard on the way for Evanescent will be devastating to the shooters, but if Stormboys jump them with those power weapons, they are going to really hurt the Wraithguard. 439, 379. Kommando Nob now fully kitted out with improved camouflage and his devastating special shooter, a shotgun that can one-shot entire squads with its high explosive shells if you get it just right. Uses it on the Warlock though. Huge waste of the ability. There are stick bombs too, again wasted. Very odd. And the Kommando Nob retreats.
Eldar act posh, but they's just thieves.
Shuriken Cannon replaced by Evanescent. Wraith Guard making their way slowly. Look how slow they are without their Warlock. And now they have their Wraith Sight, they are sped up. You can give them Wraith Sight just by having the Warlock Commander nearby also. Also applies to the Farseer Commander. Weird way on the field for Deadpool. Pretty good choice I think, but you don't want to lose it and he gets away. Warlock pulling in with the warp throw and the weird way goes down. That's a huge loss. Didn't last very long at all. Warlock using the warp throw to take him out. Storm Boys jump the Shuriken Cannon. Wraith Guard forced off already. Shuriken Cannon might go down and does. 439, 318. Shooter Boys forced off by Banshees. No sign of their Exarch yet. Here comes an Ork, forcing Storm Boys to retreat. Could have been very nasty. Storm Boys get their Nob leader as they're retreating. Look at the size of him. Ork is sub-commander for Eldar. Very quick on the feet, fights melee by default. Can jump around. Jump over cover too. Nob throws in stick bombs on the Ork. Best used versus squishy squads. He's infiltrated though, revealing himself by attacking of course. Double Storm Boys for Deadpool. It's gonna be very nasty for these Wraith Guard who are on their way back out. Artillery unit that doesn't need to set up also suppresses infantry with their artillery attacks. Good damage versus all targets. Pretty devastating damage actually, but very vulnerable to melee. Getting shots off and that Kommando Nob, suppressing him and almost taking him out, but they are now jumped by Storm Boys. Storm Boys with their Nob leader will stun units upon landing. Banshees in there with their Exarch now. And Wraith Guard are forced off, might go down. 2-to-1 cap for Deadpool. Banshees doing a good job there. Warlock in amongst them too, got a full retreat. That shotgun's so deadly. There's an Immolate. Warlock in melee with Shooter Boys. Destructor and then retreats. Have lost the indicator for him, but he is in retreat. Guardians were not helping out there. It's a 2-to-1 for blue. Break point here uncapped. Guardian squad getting their Warlock leader. And here is that Warlock leader. Makes them a bit more capable in melee and a bit more durable. Also gives them embolden. Warlock trying to cap the center. Here comes those double Storm Boys and they both have their Nob leaders now. One squad level 2, the other level 1. Shooter Boys 2 are level 2, the other squad very close to leveling. Warlock has her spear. Storm Boys jumping again. Out. Wraith Guard doing huge amounts of damage to both their own Banshees and those Storm Boys when they landed. No grenade from the Guardians though, a mistake from Evanescent. Should have thrown a grenade as soon as they landed. Easier said than done of course. Warlock helps force off the double Storm Boys, though they only took 2 losses each. Can now try and cap center again. Here come the triple shooters in from the west and a infiltrated Kommando Nob. There are the stick bombs. Guardians largely dodge, emboldened, activated, so they'll take less damage and do more damage. Here comes the Warlock. Forces off the Shooter Boys. Immolate in retreat path, trying to get a couple more model losses. 394, 270, 221 for red. Tier 3 for Deadpool. Has a lot of red resource, can use a rocks. Evanescent getting a Wraith Lord, sorry. Eldar Walker vehicle, fearsome in melee combat. Can also get a shoulder mounted ranged weapon, which it is doing. A shuriken cannon. Doesn't lose its melee effectiveness when it gets one either. Storm Boys now jump those guardians. Ouch. Wraith God. Wipe that Orc squad, that was crazy. And warp throw into shuriken cannon. Storm Boys jumping in on those Wraith Guards, stunning them. But here comes the Wraith Lord, which does splash damage as a walker vehicle. And is that a dead Storm Boy squad? That is absolutely devastating losses for Deadpool. Evanescent's done so well to stay in this game, losing 2 shuriken cannons. And after that Storm Boy loss is right back in this. 359, 270. Why did Deadpool jump them in? Did he not realise the Wraith Lord was there? Wraith Lord did ridiculous damage. I think he only got 1 swipe off with that Wraith Sword, is it called? Pretty badass Wraith Lords. Pity you don't see them around a bit more often. Cost 450, 120, so they really delay your advancement to tier 3. Need some repairs from these guardians, but then he's not getting it. Orky capping west, or rather decapping it. Should be able to finish it, but now has triple shooters shooting at her. Jumps into them, puts her shield up. Nice special attack, is now suppressed, but she's still pretty quick when suppressed, and might finish off these shooter boys. Deadpool very late to get them out of there. They survive as a single model. Deadpool now has a Nob squad though. Fearsome tier 3 melee unit for Orks, can go toe to toe with anything in the game, especially when they're upgraded. And they are getting their huge hammers, have chain axes by default. Huge hammers, even more devastating, boost their damage every time they hit. Wraith Lord and Guardians come to the west side. Deadpool still has a 2-1 despite those devastating Storm Boy losses. Ouch. Wraith Guard force off the shooters. Wraith Lord could just chase them into base and finish them off, but doesn't. Should at least be hitting this power. Is not. This is a big mistake by Evanescent. 359 plays 236, a double, now a single for Deadpool. Ouch. Shooter boys gibbed in seconds by the Wraith Guard, but here comes the Nob squad. The absolute worst nightmare for a Wraith Guard squad, but they get away with no losses. Guardians not so lucky, survive with 1 model. Nobs have their Nob leader, are not capping though. Busy macroing the center, a Kommando Nob shooting up a Warlock. Now in melee with a Wraith Lord though. And this might be a dead Kommando Nob. 1 more hit on retreat and down he goes. Retreating units of course taking 30% more damage in melee. Here come the Nob squad. Wraith Lord doesn't really want to get in melee with them, but it is. Frenzy popped. Nobs are invulnerable for a short time. Good use of warp throw, throwing them out of the way. Orky not really helping out. Now in melee with a Warlock, here are Guardians and Warp Spiders on the field for Evanescent. Warp Spiders actually a pretty good counter for Nobs, do huge amounts of damage and can teleport around out of their way. Nob leader lost on the Nob squad and they're taking huge damage from those Wraith Guard and they're getting suppressed. Shuriken Cannon of the Wraith Lord weighing in too. Here comes a looted tank, very isolated. Will take a lot of damage from this Wraith Guard if they can hit it. Wraith Guard do have a lot of trouble hitting moving targets. Where's the Haywire Grenade? There it is, and that's a very dead tank. Deadpool absolutely disintegrating here. Double shooters and Nob squad, all they have left. Kommando Nob is repurchased. Evanescent holding out from a very tough tier 1 to come back very strong. That Stormboy loss the turning point, and I think Evanescent has this game now as double Wraith Lords. You don't see this very often at all. It'll be very cool to see the guys in combat. 320 plays 215, a single for Evanescent. Not being aggressive enough, keeping his Wraith Lords back, should be hitting power, should be capping VPs. Not doing either though. In fact, the Kommando Nob and Shooter Boys will give Deadpool a 2-to-1. Double Wraith Lords should be enough to take out these Nobs, and they are in fact forced to retreat. Also not repairing this Wraith Lord, which is another mistake. Second Nob spot on the way for Deadpool. This might turn it around. Evanescent might pay for not being aggressive enough. Orky puts up a shield, now in melee with double shooters. Guardian squad replaced their Warlock leader. Orky is level 3 now. Wraith Lords just standing around the middle. Warp Spiders with their Warp Spider X-Arc leader with his power blades come to the east side. Immolate forces off the double shooters who are in that building. No sign of a rocket launcher from that Kommando Nob. Needs a way to deal with these Wraith Lord. I suppose he has double Nob squads to deal with the Wraith Lord. Tier 3 now for Evanescent. Could have closed this game out already if he was a bit more aggressive. Warp Spiders teleport to avoid stick bombs. Get a shotgun to the face. Here comes double Nobs up against double Wraith Lords. This should be interesting. Warp throw throws them away. There's a plasma grenade, decently placed, just missed. Double Wraith Lords concentrating on one squad. You see the splash damage they're doing is absolutely devastating. And they take out a Nob squad, but here's a Orks. That might be a dead Wraith Lord. It is pretty unlucky that it got caught by that big meteor there. One Wraith Lord is still around, has the Shuriken Cannon. A double cap for Evanescent now. Might be a triple if these Warp Spiders can take the east. Deadpool should have had this game won. Hasn't had his power farm touched at all. Lost those double Storm Boys, lost the looted tank, sending it in by itself. Now lost the Nob squad. On the other hand though, Evanescent should have had this locked out by now if it's a bit more aggressive with capping and power harass. So he's just allowing Deadpool to have this 69 power income. Orky now in melee with double shooters with her spear. Special attack. Knocks stuff around 360. Deadpool again, very late to get them out of there. Now we have a Nob squad in melee with the Wraith Lord. These Wraith Lords have been pretty badass this game. Warp Spiders and Guardians shooting them up too, and they are forced to retreat with 4 members. Going to be a 2-to-1, I think. Orky taking the west, Kommando Nob taking the east. Evanescent hasn't quite been mobile enough. Been quite static in the centre of the map. More Nob squad on the way for Deadpool. 2-1 for Evanescent. 144, 186. Should have got a rocket launcher to take out the Wraith Lord, I think. Wraith Lord now has Wraith Bone, great ability that you can give it in tier 3. D cannon on the field, artillery that sets up, has ridiculous range, is going to set up on this ledge here. So melee units will need to run around to get into melee with it. Look at the range it has. Double cap for Evanescent. The third Nob squad on the field for Deadpool. Lost one, of course. Nob squads cannot level anymore. Triple cap for Evanescent. The last hurrah for Deadpool, and I don't think it's going to work out. Wraith Guard are there. Warp Spiders are there. Guardians are there. Ork is in melee, as is the Warlock. No, he's on his way. Wraith Lord having to activate Wraithbane and goes down. One Nob squad forced off. This Nob squad is frenzied. Ouch, there's a singularity though. And they are forced off. And it's a double for Evanescent. This squad getting away with 4 members, just 266 health. Ork jumping, trying to get another loss. But she does a special attack. Shooters take the west side. Surely this is Evanescent's game. Nob's being reinforced. I think if Deadpool's going to have a chance, he needs to avoid the centre and go east and west. Ork in trouble, puts a shield up, she'll be alright. Warlock tries to walk through but was shotgun to the face, now does. There's an immolate. Ork forced to retreat. Warlock knocked on his ass. Can he finish off this shooter boy squad? Yes. Deadpool either not paying attention or not particularly caring anymore. Both Nob squads come to the east side. Looks like he's going to try and hold this east side with the Nobs and try and hold the west side with the Kommando. He's putting down a booby trap.
He's about to blow it.
Explosives that you need to manually activate.
I'm ashamed.
Evanescent takes it. Just going to say he's not being mobile enough to get across, but they didn't need to. The 2-1 won it. Very cool game. Deadpool losing as double Storm Boys was devastating. Evanescent could have shut this game out much earlier if he was more aggressive. Very, very silly losses from Deadpool. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.